Hello, welcome everyone. It's 2 o'clock Central European time. I think we can start. I think we are ready now. We won't wait for latecomers, so they need to catch up later on. So welcome everyone on our webinar with title AI agents for development teams and with subtitle less busy work, more coding, and basically getting some extra time for development teams. So not replacing people, but getting extra time for them. We want to keep all our developers and we want them to be efficient. We want them to do high value work, which is coding for developers. And we want to get rid of the tedious tasks that the developer hates or don't like and basically don't do. So this is the main content of this webinar. Also, it was our focus uh, in last month, and at the end of the session we can talk about it in a little bit more depth because uh, range of this webinar is limited, or presentation is limited. We are not able to cover all the agents or all the workflows we are using. So okay, Ondro, please, we can move. As you can see, this webinar will be led by me and my colleague Ondra Pop, senior developer at Easy Software. Ondra is part of a team that is covering AI features in our product. So we can call him AI developer. I don't know if he likes it or not, but it sounds cool. And me, Honza Kroupar, Jan Kroupar, and I am product manager and also agile lead in Easy Software company. And we will be talking about the agents. Let's go for the next slide so we can see the agenda. It's pretty straightforward webinar. It's development, so it's a lot of hands-on or showcase time. I will do short introduction. I will give context to everyone about this webinar, why are we doing it, and so on. And then we will deep dive in AI agents we are using in our company. And we have 3 agents to show, and maybe one more to shortly show or talk about, and so on. But we will do three demos. Then we will give you some hints, or we will share our approach, what we did, how we started building agents, and how we decided what was our systematical approach about it. So you can get inspired and you can maybe try the same way in case you don't know how to start. So that's pretty much the point. And last minutes we will spend answering Q&As, answering Qs by Ace. So let's move to introduction, Ondro. Cool, thank you. So you might know, or you might not know, we are doing this webinar as one webinar in a series of webinars that are related to our autumn campaign that is focused on AI workforce and automations. This is, I believe, third webinar in a row. Two previous webinars, they were covering general COO oriented topics for AI agents, and the second one was covering service or ITSM and knowledge management, how AI agents can help on service desk or help desk with the tasks. So if you are interested also in these topics, please check them out. And you will see that the webinars are splitted or aimed to separated company functions like sales, marketing, development, and others. So if you're interested in a particular region, you can check it out or wait for upcoming webinars. And these webinars are covering AI usage in these parts of organizations. It's a consequence of our strategical decision, is a software strategical decision to become a hybrid company, which means we are trying hard to combine human workforce and AI workforce. So we are trying to our approach is systematical. So we are trying to identify what can be automized, where can AI be used, and how it can benefit to us. And we are trying to combine it together with our teammates, human teammates, and we are trying to make it work, the smoothest way possible. Of course, there are differences. So when we are talking about the development teams and using AI for development teams, it's there is different potential than when we are talking about marketing, for example, because development departments are already from the by default from the nature already quite automatized. CI/CD is there for years. DevOps, a lot of concepts that cost that automation level if, in development. Development is on quite high level, and comparing to other company functions, the reference is simply there. And from my point of view, for example, it's harder to find something to be automatized in development than in maybe other parts of the company. But still, we are able to show agents we are using, we have created, and we learned something while creating these agents. We will be focusing on code base, repositories, source code management, text processing, and of course, we will include or the agents need integration in order to be able to communicate with outer world. And they always use the data, get the data, transform the data, or they do something with the data, and then they notify other systems or sending it to other systems. So integration is a significantly important for AI agents very often. And last point is that our approach is quite empirical. We have produced lower hundreds of workflows, different kind of workflows, simple ones, complicated, middle, and we keep producing these workflows. We are testing the workflows if there is a value. So it's living system or a living initiative, quite organic, and a lot of workflows have been created, but they won't be used. They were killed because we didn't see the value, or there are some other problems, and other workflows work. So we have many failures, and we have learned a lot. So we have quite a lot of lessons learned, what to do, what not to do, what's good for us, specifically for us, but also what can be good for the clients, because one of our goals is to create workflows, see if it works, and maybe it works for other companies also, so it can be maybe used as a template and so on, to support our business. So that's one of the purposes we use. Okay, so that's pretty much for the intro, and let's go right away to hands-on or to live demo. And I'm passing words to my dear colleague Ondra. Ondra, there you go. Show us, please.
Thank you, Hansa. So hello again. I'm Ondra, and I'm going to show you some agents. And the first one that I'm going to show you is, we call it Marriage Request Copilot. And the idea behind this agent is actually to work with the merge requests. And what we want to do is we are trying to summarize and contextualize this merge request. The goal is to reduce friction for developers, QA, and customers, because we are creating some specific summaries for different teams in our company, and in the end, it actually reaches the clients in some form. And why? I guess the main reason is it saves time, and it improves the communication across teams, at least for us. So let's take a look at the agent. For the agents, we actually use a system called N8N. I don't know if all of you are familiar with it. If not, then I suggest for you to check it. This tool is an automation tool, not just for AI tools, but for any automations, basically. The cool thing is that it is open source. They have a community edition. You can actually run it locally on your server for free. You have unlimited workflows and unlimited runs. There are some limitations, but I would say that for starting, it's completely fine. Yeah, and maybe you know some other tools like Make or Zapier. So this is so this is basically similar, and we chose this. I mean, we picked this because we could actually easily develop our custom node. So we have our custom node in here, and I would say that even like the debugging and the coding was on a higher level than, for example, in a Make. But I don't know if it is the case still. But but we are quite happy with N8N. So
and actually, sorry, Andrew. And actually, one of the things was that there is a possibility to create your own native connectors in the library, in N8N library, which is quite powerful, because if you have some tool or some system, you can create this native connector in N8N, and you can make it accessible using this connector. And we actually thought we can do this connector for our product, for EasyRedMine, and we have succeeded actually. And you know, the connector is there, it can be used. So that was one of the criteria why we used N8N, and it turned out to be a good choice from this point of view.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, it's like the biggest advantage of this node is probably that it simplifies the authentication for non-developer people, so they can actually access the API of your application without actually knowing or understanding the API. So that would be all for the N8N, and let's take a look at the agent. What we are trying to do here, is that when a new merge request is created in GitLab is like our source code management tool. So I will call pull requests merge requests. It's the convention in GitLab, but it's pretty much the same thing. But anyway, when a new merge request is created or existing one is updated, we receive a webhook in here. Then we are going to check if the merge request is ready, which basically means, is this a draft, or is this something that is actually good, that it is actually good enough for the processing. If it is ready, we are going to create or not create, like build a URL to actually fetch the changes of the merge request, because in the webhook you don't receive all the information you need. So we are going to fetch the changes from the merge request. Oops. Then we are going to we fetch the changes here. Then we check if there are actually any changed files, because you can have a merge request with no changes. That's not very interesting for us. So if there are changes, we will format the div in a way that worked for us. Then we are going to extract task ID. The task ID can be like in our case, it can be in the title of the merge request, or sometimes it's in the body. So we will extract it, and if we actually find a task ID, we are going to call our project management tool, which is EasyRedMine, and we are going to fetch the information, the task information from our EasyRedMine instance. And we are going to fetch the description and all the updates of the task, and then we are going to feed this to the LLM, and the LLM will produce like basically four sections of four different summaries for different teams. I will show it later in GitLab. And so when the summary is created, it's going to be sent to it's going to be used to update the merge request with the summary. And the summary actually, the final summary looks like this. There is a short summary at the top, which is just an overview, like what's the goal of the feature, so like why we actually did this change. Then there is a code review overview, which is basically like a shortened version of the changes. It is sometimes useful that you can read this in, let's say, 20-30 seconds, and sometimes you can spot like weird things when some of your colleagues are doing things they shouldn't. It sometimes can be seen here. The next section is for our QA team. This true basically means, can this be tested by our QA team? If it can be, it's just says true, and then it suggests some steps how to go about it. This is just to remind the QA team like basically what they can do with it, or like how to test it, because sometimes let's say they haven't seen the task for a couple of days, and then they need to get some more information, so they don't have to ask you again what it is actually about. And the last section, it is called for customer. This basically is what's the feature like. This is basically the impact on the customer, and this is actually used for two things. There is another workflow that collects these, and is going to create a separate set of data with linked tasks and linked versions, because the ticket has we know in which version this merge request will be released, and all of this data is combined into a table, and then this table is given to our release team to actually to prepare a changelog. And we have two kinds of changelogs actually. We have one of them is for our customers, but then the other one is kind of internal, and that will be posted to our team's channel, so people know that maybe some people are waiting for some feature, so this is so they can just see it in the in the message there. I think this is all for this demonstration in GitLab. Now I will press execute workflow. So you actually see what it looks like to execute a workflow in NA10. There is a small pin here. It basically means that there is a saved webhook. So it will be run on already received webhook previously. So so if I click it, it's going to, it's pretty fast. This is only, this is quick HTTP calls or some codings. Now it is actually, it is up to LLM to produce some summary as well. It was pretty quick. And now it should be updated. Oh, I haven't deleted the old one, but if it will be like 5 times here, so now it's 3 times, so now it will be here 4 times. But yeah, so basically this is the new section here, and I may have a couple of, or I think this is all for the first workflow. If you have any questions regarding this, you can write them into the Q&A section in Zoom, and we will try to answer them like at the end of the
Yes.
webinar.
Yeah, exactly. Please, if you have questions, if you don't understand, anything, or have general question, please use questions and answers kind of chat here in Zoom, and we will try to have a few minutes at the end to answer the questions. But I have a question, maybe Ondro, for this workflow or maybe other workflows. Maybe you might be able to show how we approach the credentials, because or how integration basically works, because the workflow evidently needs to communicate with other tools where authorization is required, and it needs to be strongly integrated. So can you show how it's done here?
Yes, I can. N8N has this internal credential management system. If I open this node here, you can actually see authentication. This is a general HTTP request node, actually, but you can actually see here authentication. You can pick type. There are basically 2 types. One of them is predefined. One of them is generic. Predefined means if you want to, make an API call to some existing application, for example, Airtable, or I don't know, whatever, Asana API, so AWS, or Azure OpenAI. You can just pick this, and then it will give you GitLab API. I will use this, and then you can actually pick one of your stored credentials in N8N. The other option is to just do it generic credential type. You can just do bearer, and then you can create a new credential. For example, just a JWT token. You can name it whatever you like, but if your application isn't here, you can just use this. This is a standard header authentication, so you can use this as well. The third option would be if you have a node, if you have a existing node for an application. I guess I can actually add one. Let's say, I think I can actually show it here on OpenAI, and it will just there will be one select at the top that will just allow you to select the credential specifically for this node. So if it is for GitLab, I don't know if they have their own nodes, but if they do, there will probably be, you would just suggest you all the credentials for GitLab stored in your N8N instance that are visible to your user. I hope I answered your question, Hamza.
Yeah. So for every system where authorization is needed, there needs to be credentials stored in N8N, and these credentials, identify the user, and they can be used across the workflows. So other workflows, they reuse the credentials, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I guess I will continue to the next slide. Live demo, that's after we've already done that. So we can go to agent number 2, and this agent we call bugsnag error triage. First, I'm going to say what is bugsnag. Bugsnag is an error monitoring tool. It's similar to Sentry. I suppose just, yeah. Basically, if there is an uncaught error in our cloud, a request will be sent to this application, and then we have a dashboard of these errors that somebody needs to take a look at and decide whether this error is worth fixing, or if it is just some weird thing that that doesn't really make sense to spend time on. And this work is quite tedious. Nobody really likes to do it, so we decided to use AI for this. And what we do, we actually triage these errors, and then we try to turn the valid errors into tasks. So we actually create a new ticket in our EasyRedmine instance, and then it follows the standard bug process. Like why? Like we have quite a lot of these, and the reason is because we have quite a lot of, like, our application is deployed in a lot of instances, and each instance is slightly different. It's either the version is different because the client wants to have a different version for some reason, or they have a different plugins enabled, or different configuration, and sometimes like weird combinations of these configurations can cause like some strange errors. So then we have to go over them. So I'm going to go back to the browser. First, I'm going to show you what bugsnag is. Apparently, it's your favorite application. So yeah, so this is bugsnag. I will then show you what an actual error looks in bugsnag, but it's not that important now. So let's take a look at the workflow. This workflow actually runs. I think it runs every hour, and it has two branches. One of the branches is like fully like non-AI, so deterministic, let's say, and in this branch, what it actually does, it's going to fetch. It says fixed errors, but those are actually open errors in a bugsnag, and it's going to try to find an existing ticket in an existing task in our EasyRedmine instance, and if the task is closed, it's actually going to close the error, or mark it as fixed rather in the bugsnag. Or if for some reason the issue doesn't exist, we will just remove the link from the bugsnag error. These wait nodes are here actually because we were hitting rate limits in bugsnag, so we needed to avoid that. So that's why they are here. And the top branch here is the actual triage. I have one more like interesting node here, and then that actually is this node here. What this actually does, this is actually going to fetch a prompt template for the LLM, but it's going to fetch it from our GitLab instance, because we were like solving an issue that how to actually keep track of different versions of the prompt templates, and it's not as straightforward in N8 as I like. So we actually tried to just have it in a GitLab. So it's just going to download this prompt template and use it later in the workflow. I have to find the workflow now. It's this one, I think. Yeah, it's in this one. So yeah, this node is going to fetch the prompt template. This node is going to fetch new errors from bugsnag. It's just an API call. We will be able to see. Yeah, this is actually that is now predefined authentication. So you can actually see generic header authentication, and we have like stored header authentication for bugsnag. Then we are going to filter out issues that already have linked, bugs that already have linked tasks, because we don't need to triage them again. Then we are going to go over the errors. We are going to send the error to LLM, which will actually use the prompt template from this node, which I think you can actually see it here. It's going to. This is the name of the node, and this is the payload. This is So this is how the prompt template gets here. The structured output parser, it's quite useful if you need a specific structure of the JSON. So you can actually give it an example of the output JSON, and it should, or usually it follows it. It works like pretty well. So you can actually get the JSON in a structure that you would like to. And so here in the LLM, the brain, it's going to process the bug, and based on our criteria, it's going to decide what to do with the bug. We have 5 options here. Based on the returned value, it can return one of these 5 values basically. It can either be assign, that means it's going to create a task. Create a task in this instance means send a request to bugsnag, which says create a task, because bugsnag has an integration with Redmine and EasyRedmine, so it knows how to create a task in EasyRedmine, and it's going to link it like from both ways. So it will be linked in bugsnag, and there will be a link to the error in bugsnag in the ticket, or in the task in EasyRedmine. Then there are these three options: ignore, delete, discard. I don't really remember why we have all 3 here, but basically it means this bug is not really, we are not really interested in these bugs. This can happen, like this happens, for example, when we update an application and there are some, like, I don't know, MySQL or like database errors that somebody tried to ping it, and it just didn't work. So we can actually detect them pretty well with LLM. So we will just mark the error as like just okay, we are not interested. Then there is the 5th branch, which is called autofix. This branch is actually turned off because this is like, this was our, this is the agent number 3 actually. So we will take a look at it later. But basically our idea was to send this for like to let the LLM fix the bug on its own if it's like a fixable bug by LLM, because we have like our application has a kind of strange structure, and we can't modify certain files, and it's quite difficult to explain this to LLM, so it knows how to follow these instructions. Like we haven't tried this with, for example, GPT-5 yet, but GPT 4.1 wasn't really good enough for this, for following of the instructions. And I guess this is actually all for this one. I will show you now. I will show you the what the bug looks like in the bugsnag. So this is what it looks like. I don't think it's that important to show you what actually is here. It's just a bug. Your developers will probably understand it if they work with this. And this is the task created in our EasyRead instance, and there is a link here back to the bugsnag trace, so you can. And someone already is like doing something here. Yeah. So and this is like happening automatically actually. So we didn't do this, so it saved us some clicks. Yeah, these are the tasks that are created in that were created today from this workflow. And again, if you have any questions, you can ask them in the Q&A section of the webinar, and I will go back.
I will again use this moment shortly.
Okay.
We have
Okay.
23 minutes left, but I will ask, maybe it's useful because this agent was a little bit more complicated. What happens when it fails? Are there some tools to manage that? Some failover maybe,
Yes.
or how to approach this?
Yeah, I will show it here probably because you have a section of executions here. You can see like a lot of, because this is way more executions than that one. You can see all the executions here. You can actually filter failed executions here, and if you find a failed execution, you can actually debug it here with the data that actually it was processing. So that's one. Basically, this is how you can actually debug it. The other question is how to know about it when this happens, and you can actually configure somewhere in settings, I guess, and you can actually give it error workflow to notify when this one error. So if it is like an uncaught error, it's going to run another workflow, which is going to, you can do whatever you want, either send a message to your Slack or Teams or send an email. It's up to you.
Okay,
yeah.
clear. Thank you.
Yeah, and just small note, like these whiles are actually, this marks the test executions, just like when I was testing it. And this is the like a production execution that somebody triggered it, not me here, but somebody else. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. So agent number 3, which is the automatic bug fixer. And this is actually like our, let's say, our not so successful story. Because like when we like first discovered agents, we were like thinking, yeah, it will do everything for us. So we tried to like, this is actually quite old. This is like way before. This is actually before like there were things like agent in studios. Like Cursor was available, but not other like IDs had own agents, or even the GitHub agent wasn't available at that time. So we tried to actually do this ourselves. And it's actually quite interesting what it does, or maybe like what you can actually do in an N810. It can be pretty big. So it's going to, what's going on here is that it's going to be triggered. We have like 3 triggers. The executed by another workflow that was the entry point for this from the triage. So when actually the LLM decided that this bug is fixable by LLM. We had some strict criteria to select the bugs to actually mark it as fixable by LLM. Then it was sent here. Then it actually this branch here was actually fetching different instances of the error, because the error could be there, like, let's say 10 times, 50 times from different applications. So we fetched, let's say, I think like 10 of them, maybe 50, I don't know, but some instances of this error. We aggregated them to one description. This branch here actually just prepares the data for the processing. This is actually, we have here a file with example tests. Basically, this is like our instructions how we want our developers to write tests. So this is actually this is prepared here, or downloaded here, and ready to use for the LLMs. Then we needed to make it proper JSON, and I don't know what this is, but probably API cloud. I think it's something very similar, but from a different source, because we have this is from a different source. So again, examples of tests, and prepare user test prompt. So that will combine those examples into a one prompt template that we can then feed to the LLM. Here, this is just preparation of different prompt templates. So we have another 3 prompt templates here. The merge node here is what it does is just waiting for all of these to finish. So it's so you can't really continue until you have all of these done. So when all of these are finished, it's going to go further. And what we did here, actually, we actually have 2 branches. They are very similar, but one of them was using ChatGPT to attempt to fix the error, and the other one was using Claude. So actually, we had 2 merge requests from this workflow. Then we could pick which one we liked more. Theoretically, you could have 10 here if you feel like it. Maybe I will slightly touch this node, which is basically the AI agent node in NA10. What you can do with it, you can assign it a model here. You can just interchange it for any model you would like to use. You can edit memory. So if your agent needs to store something in his memory, then it can do it here. And then you can give it different tools. So for example, tool can be, here is a tool that says you can fetch a file based on a file path. So what this does, if basically you have a stack trace in the bugsnag, so this tool enables the agent to fetch the content of the file, and the LLM can actually decide on its own which files it needs and which files it doesn't want. And this node thing is just some further instruction, like how to, how to, if it's like self-reflection, you can actually help it with the thinking process, how to approach the issue. Auto fixing output parser. This is probably, I don't really remember exactly, but this is probably because we really need a specific structure from this to be a specific JSON. And I guess the LLM wasn't really able to do it in exactly the way we want it. So there is a special node for that. You can actually you can attempt to fix it. And this one node is going to fix or attempt to fix the error. And if it succeeds, then it's going to the next node, which is going to try to write tests. Tests for that is very similar, just a different prompt template, different instructions, but basically the agent is the same, the tool set is the same. Then I guess this is just going to format, just going to take all of these outputs, combine it into one. So when both of the agents finish their work, then we are going to filter their output. A good result means there is at least one changed file. If there is at least one changed file, then we are going to go to this node, which actually is going to do some which is going to add some data from our easy Redmine instance to the merge request that we are going to create. And here it's going to create two. This is like loop over item, so it's going to run twice. Here, if actually there are two items, it's going to set branch name, create branch, and create merge request, and actually push the fix in this order. Okay, it's going to push the fix here. And I think I found one that we tried, and it actually fixed the error. It was a nil exception, and it managed to fix it. It's a small thing, but it was successful, and it even tried to write a test for this. It even generated this file, which we would have to delete because it does things like this from time to time. The LLM they're like that sometimes, and so basically this is what it can generate. But in the end, we stop development of this agent, and what we want to do moving forward is to use an existing coding agent that will be developed by other companies. So right now, for example, you can use GitHub agent that you can just you can give it a repository, but it needs to be on GitHub. But we are using GitLab, so we can't use it right now. So we have to wait until GitLab introduces their own agentic features in their application. But if you are using GitLab, you could just have, for example, in the triage, you could just create a ticket in GitHub and assign it to, I don't know what's its name now, but let's say a GitHub agent, and it will actually try to fix the error in a more sophisticated way than here. They have way more people working on it than this is this was a fun project for one of our developers. So we want to use that as well, but we are waiting for GitLab to actually to implement it. I tried it. I sometimes use it because we have some, let's say, small libraries in GitHub. So I actually try to just give it. I sometimes try it, and it's working okay-ish. And I guess that's all for this workflow. Maybe just what I have from this is that you don't always have to develop your own agent. You can just use something that's already there and just use it. It might be cheaper for you even. And
okay, Ondřej, we have 10 more minutes, so
okay. Then in that case, I am done.
Thanks a lot. I will take over. Meanwhile, you can, if you would be so kind, you can read the question and Q&As. We have 2 questions, so maybe you can think about it. Meanwhile, we have last piece of information on last slide, and we included it because you have seen 3 agents we are using, or we used, at least we developed them and we learned a thing or two. And we have a bunch of other agents. But as I mentioned before, we decided to become a hybrid company. But at the beginning, we haven't any agents. So it was empty space, and we decided that we will perform 5 steps or several steps so we can have some agents working for us. So take it as a inspiration maybe for you if you would like to also try or start somehow with the agents. This is the way, or this is the approach we used. You can use, the similar on your own, whatever, but I wanted to share our approach with you. So at the beginning, we have developed, or we used so-called AI canvas, which was canvas in Mural for AI-oriented brainstorming. So harvesting all the ideas the people have, and we organized workshops with this AI canvas. We got all the developers in one room, and I personally organized, I think, all of the development teams sessions, and we harvested all the ideas. And we harvested, the usual ideas, or obvious ideas, and also insane ideas, because it was brainstorming. So we said that there is no limit, because we didn't know what is possible and what not was not possible. So we said, okay, give us all the ideas, and we categorized the ideas according to value or potential and effort and so on. So we already had an idea. It was bottom-up process, obviously, and we had a lot of ideas. What can we do that would help, the people in the teams to with their daily work or daily agenda. So we harvested and kind of categorized all the ideas. Then we selected few ones. We wanted to achieve quick wins as soon as possible. So we picked low-hanging fruits, and then we picked something in the middle. So something with more value, but that will be more time-consuming. We mapped the flow of the process for these picked ideas, and we were considering time, volume, quality. So we were trying to balance, the picked processes. Then we again selected candidates, considering other things like how error prone it is, how much resources it consumes, how much money it costs, and so on. And we had to do it because at the end we ended up with a lot of ideas. So we had to select the right ideas, and also we wanted to be sure that we select ideas where company functions. So we wanted to make it at least somehow balanced again. Then we started to using N8N, learning N8N, and we started to working with the workflows, like solitaire actions or solitaire development by the single people. Also, we did a hackathon with the specific processes, and we started to gaining momentum. There were several steps. It's a point number 4. In the first stage, it was only pilot, so it was only proof of concept to prove it's possible to compose such a workflow. So it didn't matter if it's nice, clean, beautiful or not. The result was all it matters. Maybe it was manually triggered, whatever. Then if it worked, we moved to assisted stage, where human was still needed for approvals and so on. So it was human in the loop kind of thing, but the workflow proved itself, and we started to use it more. And then in the third stage, it was only monitored. The human in the loop was reduced or removed, and the process was basically ready for the production. Most of the failures were removed, and then the last stage is independent. So the agent or workflow runs in the space, in the cloud, uh, and performs and brings the value. Uh, Definitely not all the workflows get to the last stage, right? A lot of workflows simply gets killed during, because they have disadvantages we didn't know at the beginning. So we adapt. But some of the workflows are already running for a few months and are bringing us value and basically performing work of some junior people that would be otherwise that would have been done by people. So that's an four stage, and the last stage is to make sure that we still evaluate KPIs, so it still brings the value. It's secure because, as you have seen, the agents are quite integrated. They use quite a lot of data. They are sending the data, HTTP request one way or the other, and you need to be sure that you're security compliant. You don't send the data, if it is not safe or secure. So that's one of the things that needs to be taken care of. And also, we realized that we haven't enough time to cover this topic, but we need some rules for descriptions, naming conventions, and stuff like that. How to build the workflows, how to describe the workflows, and so on. Because as I mentioned, we have a quite significant amount of workflows, and it can get quickly complicated, and it can get quickly messy. So you need to be sure that you are also covering this, and it's better to think about it at the beginning because it will be needed for sure. So that was it. That was the last slide. We have 2 more minutes to answer some questions. So, Ondřej, did you think about the answer?
Yes.
Have you answered
Yes.
already some?
I can read them again because it's not that I had to
Or maybe,
look for
or maybe
the
you can
Q.
show it, or maybe you can show it in the workflow because the
Yeah.
call of EasyRedMine call is in there, so we can show.
Yeah. So the first question was, how does the merge request agent look in EasyRedMine? Like specifically here is this node here. It's called Escort is out. I have like echo a little bit, but that like it's this node here, and I hope it's not. Yeah. So because we know the task ID from this node, so we don't have to let the LLM to actually let it like find. We don't like the LLM knows the task ID, so it doesn't have to be a tool because you can do it like programmatically basically. So this node here is actually taking care of it. We can probably rename it to, why not here? I have to be in editor. We can probably rename it to, like fetch task data from EasyRedMine. And so if the task ID is here, then this node will just make a JSON request with some N8 and bot user credentials, which should have like permissions to read tasks from certain projects. But still, like this, the task ID needs to be written on the merge request. So somebody has to put it there or something.
Super.
Yeah.
There's one more question. How do I start the agent in EasyRedMine? It's possible. We are working on automations function currently in current version of EasyRedMine. There are automation buttons, so-called automation buttons, but it's part of the automations area we are investing or developing. It will be renamed soon to automations, and it will be possible to call an 8N workflow directly from EasyRedMine soon. So
yeah, and you should be able to call it from, for example, from one task. So if you have a task and you want to run a workflow to do something with the task, so you will be able to, I think maybe you are even now able to create a button, just click it and run this like this workflow. Doesn't make sense, but your other workflow you could actually run it. or there will be features to actually process queries, like a list of entities as well. So you will be able to have multiple entities and send them for processing here. Or the other option would be how to trigger the AI agent would be just to have a webhook. So yeah, if something is changed, you can actually so but if something is changed, you could this could trigger this workflow as well. And then there was one more question, which was about credentials in an A10 workflow for GitLab. If this actually gives the LLM access to the whole GitLab. I hope I understand it correctly. So you have to, I think, maybe show it in the other here. Basically what's here, here the LLM doesn't directly access the GitLab. So this key here, it could actually be like a powerful key that can access pretty much anything that you trust the author of the workflow to use, because the LLM can't really change the URL of the merge request. So basically one merge request is given here and it's going to be updated. The LLM can't do anything about it. If, for example, you would like it to, you would want the LLM to let to find similar merge requests, or I don't know, maybe all the merge requests from your team, then yes, you could create a GitLab credential it would basically be a user, and you would only give it access to projects you want it to access, or you could hard code the project. You can add a tool here, HTTP request tool, and you could do GitLab.com, for example, authentication. You would pick one of your users, and then you can send query parameters, and you would specify here, okay, for example, you would describe this tool, or you can search this tool, or this tool is for searching merge requests in GitLab by given, I don't know, by given username, whatever, and then you could actually do some, for example, query parameters would be username, and then you can actually tell the LLM to pass you the username, and then you can use it here as a value of the parameter. And you could just do here the URL, do /projects /123, and now it can't change this URL. It could only modify, let's say, the username attribute. The LLM doesn't even know that it's going to call HTTP request. It's just calling a tool from its perspective, and it's going to return back some text. So you can actually limit, limit where the LLM can go.
Okay, cool. We are 5 minutes over our time range. So, but we answered all the questions, so I think it's worth it. We passed, the content we wanted to pass. We enjoyed the webinar also, so I think it went well. So everything is completed. You've seen the agents. You can try an A10 automation tool. It's quite accessible. It's quite easy. There is a lot of examples. You can check out the notes, type of notes that are there. Maybe you will find your favorite applications there, so you can work with it and integrate. You can find their EasyRedMine. In case you're using EasyRedMine, you can use it, experiment with it. It can be quite fun, and that's all from our side. In case you have other questions that can come up later, don't hesitate to reach out to us. As you noticed, we have done this webinar together with Easy8.ai, which is related, very close company to Easy Software, and this company focus on directly on AI agents, automation, integrations, and so on. And the idea is to extend the possibilities of EasyRedMine, right? We are producing the product or creating the product, but maybe it would be easier for you to use some automation to achieve some functionality without coding. So this is how it should work. Don't hesitate to ask us stuff. We will be we will answer. We will be happy to answer. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your attention, and see you maybe next time.
Yep. Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.